I'm Ben with the BTC Sessions, and this is your Bullish Bit, brought to you by CoinKite.com, bringing you the best hardware to secure your Bitcoin. The Cold Card Q, the Tab Signer, the Block Log, and plenty more goodies can be found over at CoinKite.com. Use code BTC Sessions for a nice discount at checkout.
The podcast I work on is called Live as Bitcoin. So I host and produce this show is because I work in the industry for the past 3 years. And what I've seen is that the majority of Bitcoin content that's out there are very much about technology and economics, which is what Bitcoiners, the current set of Bitcoiners are interested in. And that's totally fine. And we need all of these content to actually get ourselves on the ground on a practical level and understand what's going on from a practical standpoint. But I approach Bitcoin content in a slightly different approach, is that I talk to Bitcoiners about their personal transformations. What is their life before and after Bitcoin? How have their life and values shifted because of it? And I don't know if any of you have noticed, is that when we hang out with Bitcoiners around us, oftentimes we realize, or we catch ourselves talking about anything and everything but Bitcoin. We talk about relationships, we talk about friendship, we talk about, what to eat on a daily basis, when to wake up, but we don't really talk about Bitcoin. Like you will barely see the word Bitcoin comes up in the conversation. And this is the approach I'm taking on my show, is that I have guests on my show talk about parenting, talk about pregnancy, meeting a husband on Twitter, or I have Bitcoiners come on the show. We talk about death. We talk about truth. We talk about how the food system have been impacted in a way that we're way less healthy than the previous generation, even just 50 years ago. And the Bitcoin narrative kind of just goes on the underlining instead of on the surface. And we really start to think about what it's like to live as a Bitcoiner. And I don't consider the show just for Bitcoiners, even though that you will really start to get to the guests personally, because I ask very personal questions. So it's a great place for Bitcoiners to come together and hang out and know the Bitcoiners that we already know on a more personal level. But it's also a good place for us to try to orange pill others, because we're not talking about Bitcoin per se. And if you think about it, and let's face it, if I'm not interested in something, I'm not going to sit down and spend 2 hours watch a video or an interview that I just have absolutely no interest in. This is just a reality. But if we talk about something that's more personally relatable, and if people start to see that, oh, she's my age, she lives in a similar area than I am, and then she's a Bitcoiner, and this is how she's lived her life, and that's better than mine. And I wish I could be like her financially, emotionally. I want to be as healthy as her, and she's a Bitcoiner. So what is this Bitcoin thing? Let me look into it, because I want to live that life. We want to make Bitcoin a personally relatable thing and actually show by example to people through stories, personal transformations, that you can live a better life with Bitcoin. It's that simple.